Revelation of the passage, a mystical perspective on illusions and hallucinations. In the labyrinthine streets of human perception, where shadow and light blend in obscure patterns, we encounter our greatest deception, the belief in the solidity of what we see, feel, and think. There is a peculiar irony in our constant search for truth, God, or an ultimate reality, while simultaneously being ensnared in the very constructs of our minds. Like a weary traveler chasing mirages in a desert, we stumble upon illusions, believing them to be solid ground, only to have them dissipate beneath our feet. There is no pure light here, no beacon that reveals an absolute perspective. We find ourselves in a perpetual twilight, groping for something we cannot grasp. The ego, that intangible perceptual center we cling to, becomes the architect of its own prison, crafting experiences that affirm its existence and reinforce its perceptions. The more we try to discern a clear, objective view, the more we realize we are entrapped in a hall of mirrors, each reflection distorting the next. The truth we seek becomes merely another surface upon which the ego projects its shadow. The nature of thought and the illusory self. What exists, then, in this nebulous terrain? The activities of thought alone, movements within the mind that sculpt the contours of the ego, arrange experiences, and crystallize perceptions into seemingly stable beliefs. Yet, this construction is but a fleeting dream. Thoughts arise, converge, and dissipate like mist. They give form to what is formless, solidify the ephemeral, and make concrete the ethereal. And in this cosmic theater, we find ourselves playing the role of both creator and captive. We dream together, constructing a shared but fragmented reality, a cosmic consensus punctuated by personal deviations. The stars, the moon, the very streets beneath our feet, all become symbols within this grand illusion, shadows cast by a greater source of light we can neither see nor fathom. We dream based on some objective elements, perhaps, but the dream's narrative is intensely personal. Each individual is an artist of perception, painting their world in hues of hope, fear, desire, and aversion. The great mistake, confusing the dream for reality. But herein lies our great mistake, the conflation of dream and reality. We walk through life as sleepwalkers, mistaking the phantasms of our thoughts for the truth of existence. We look at our hallucinations and see them as reality. Every belief, every perception we clutch at, they become the foundations of our world, yet these foundations rest on quicksand. We solidify our delusions, mistaking them for the bedrock of the infinite, the boundless expanse we yearn to comprehend. What can we hope to find in such a state? If everything we experience, think, and perceive is merely a construction of the mind, then any truth or God we encounter will be a reflection of this dream, a simulacrum, a shadow of a shadow. Like the prisoners in Plato's cave, we mistake shadows for the real forms. And even when we break free, ascending toward the light, we are still confined by the limitations of our mind's ability to grasp what lies beyond thought. The path of liberation, seeing beyond the illusions. Yet, there is a way, a path that leads out of the labyrinth. It is not through the search for more elaborate visions or more convincing truths. Rather, it is through a quiet but radical recognition, a recognition of the distorting nature of thought itself. To see this clearly is to see through the veils, to understand that the mind's ceaseless activity is the source of all illusions and the genesis of every hallucination. The moment of clarity is subtle yet transformative. In that instant, one realizes that the very act of seeking stabilizes the dream. To pursue an illusion, no matter how noble or divine, is still to affirm its existence. True liberation, then, is not about finding a better illusion, a more satisfying dream. It is about stepping outside the dream altogether. Out of the dream, a mystical awakening. What does it mean to be out of the dream? It is not a state of transcendence where one finds oneself in a new world or a higher plane of existence. It is simply the cessation of the dream function itself. When the dreaming stops, there is no longer an ego to chase illusions or perceive hallucinations. There is just pure seeing, pure being, a state where there is no I to grasp, to organize, to interpret. It is a state of emptiness, of stillness, of silence. But this silence is not a void. It is a fullness beyond comprehension, a presence that cannot be named. It is in this presence that one finally realizes the futility of all seeking. For what we sought outside, in the streets of perception, in the alleys of thought, in the heavens of belief, was always here, in the quiet center of our own being. And so, the question remains, do we see it? If we do, truly see it, then the dream shatters and we stand outside of it, no longer seeking, no longer chasing. But if we doubt, even for a moment, we are pulled back into the dream's grasp, and the cycle continues. Final words, a call to awakening. Brother, as a brother I speak. See it. Leave it. Get out of this. To write a long mystical article, to elaborate on these themes, is itself part of the dream function. But perhaps, in the articulation, in the sharing of these insights, one mind may catch a glimpse of the way out, the pathless path that leads beyond illusion, beyond hallucination, beyond the mind itself. So, step into the silence. Abandon the search. What you seek is already here, waiting in the space where thoughts fade and the dream ends.